What's up EFD? Today we're counting down 10 players who could transform the fortunes of some of Europe's top clubs. Let's go. 10. Sergio Ramos to PSG. One of the biggest stories in club football this summer, Sergio Ramos' departure from Real Madrid has very much signalled the end of an era at the Bernabeu. And with a number of top clubs in the market for defensive reinforcements this summer, it was no surprise to see him linked with the likes of Man City, Man United and PSG. And at the time of writing, the French giants have reportedly agreed a deal to take him to the Parc des Princes, and we reckon they're by far the best fit for the Spanish veteran. They sorely missed former captain Thiago Silva's experience at the back following his move to Chelsea, with expected goals rating them as the 4th best defence in Ligue 1, while their tally of 8 losses was their worst showing in a decade. Although Marquinhos is superb, his partner Presnel Kimpembe has a reputation for rashness and mistakes, while Thilo Kehrer and Abdou Diallo, who are also used as cover at fullback, are yet to consistently impress in the centre. Provided he can stay fit, Ramos' experience and leadership would be invaluable to a side still searching for glory in Europe, and they are one of the few clubs who would have no problem meeting his wage demands. Having secured Gini Wijnaldum and Gianluigi Donnarumma, and with the Achraf Hakimi deal looking all but done, Mauricio Pochettino will be very happy with the club's summer business so far. Getting Ramos in before the season's start would be the icing on the cake. 9. Renato Sanches to Liverpool. One of the most talked about players at Euro 2020, Renato Sanches was recently suggested by us as a good option for Arsenal if they are serious about revamping their midfield. But the 23-year-old would be an equally excellent signing for Liverpool as they look to move on from Gini Wijnaldum's departure and reassert themselves as Premier League title challengers next season. The box-to-box midfielder has gone from strength to strength since moving to Lille in 2019, following a disappointing stint at Bayern Munich and loan spell at Swansea City, in which he underperformed on the pitch and was isolated away from it, helping the French side to the title this year and gaining a ton of admirers in the process. And with Liverpool rocked by injuries in their midfield as well as defence last term, having a player like Sanches, who has had no problem being rotated in France, would be ideal for Jurgen Klopp. Possessing the ability to drive play forwards similarly to Naby Keita, who is still yet to fully assert himself at Anfield, Sanches completes 2.8 dribbles per 90, more than anyone in the Red squad. His passing game is also superb, with his 5.7 long balls a game around the same as Thiago currently averages. And he of course has the physical qualities to thrive in Klopp's midfield 3, and given his failure at Swansea, would no doubt be determined to put things right if he re-entered the Premier League. 8. James Rodríguez to Milan. Having seen his manager and friend Carlo Ancelotti leave Everton, speculation is building that James Rodríguez could also be on his way out of Goodison Park. And with Hakan Çalhanoğlu switching between Milan and Inter following the expiry of his contract with the Rossoneri, recent reports have strongly linked the Colombian playmaker with a move to Stefano Pioli's side. The Italian giants are certainly in need of a creator this summer, with Çalhanoğlu's 3.4 key passes per 90 by far the biggest average in the squad last term. Ante Rebic was closest on 1.8 and played nearly 1,000 fewer minutes than the Turk. And in James, they'd have a clear upgrade on Çalhanoğlu, whose impact in open play was always somewhat limited. Rodríguez has the kind of pedigree few players in Pioli's squad possess, and in an Everton side which ranked 15th for shots per game in the Premier League last season, still managed to lay on 2 chances a match. For context, Milan averaged almost 5 more shots per 90 minutes than the Toffees last term. He may turn 30 this summer, but the former Madrid man has been able to cut it in Spain, Germany and England, so there's no doubt he can adapt quickly to Serie A. Injuries remain a concern, but if he can stay fit, James can be a consistent match winner in Italy. 7. Max Aarons to Arsenal. A lot of the talk surrounding Arsenal this summer has centred on their search for a midfielder and extra creative presence. But while their defence was one of the best in the league last term, their backline is still in need of upgrading, and with centre-back Ben White looking likely to sign as this is written, the right-back slot is also an area for redevelopment. With Hector Bellerin potentially on his way out of the Emirates, and with his performances over the last year particularly inconsistent, the Gunners could be in the market for a replacement, and Norwich City's Max Aarons fits the bill. A target for Bayern Munich and Barcelona last summer, Aarons helped the Canaries earn promotion back to the Prem this year, with his excellent ball-carrying ability and electric pace a cornerstone of their success. Last term, he ranked among the top defenders in the country for touches in the opposition box and successful forward runs, showcasing the kind of penetration Bellerin has increasingly struggled to find over the last 2 years. Given licence to roam, Aarons could be an unlikely key to unlocking the Gunners' attacking potential, and alongside Kieran Tierney would give the Londoners one of Europe's most exciting full-back pairings. 6. Junior Firpo to Leeds. A signing that could be official by the time you see this, Junior Firpo's move from Barcelona to Leeds looks like a win-win for both clubs and the player. Barca are getting back a decent amount of what they paid for a player who has hardly featured in the 2 years since signing. Firpo will get the game time he craves in a top league, and Leeds have a signing who, at 24, is 5 years younger than the outgoing Ashan Alioski and has a higher ceiling than the North Macedonian. And while he failed to impress at the Camp Nou, his excellent displays under Quique Setien at Real Betis, which earned him the move to Catalunya, suggest he has what it takes to thrive under Marcelo Bielsa. A hard worker both on and off the ball, Firpo averaged 6.2 ball recoveries per 90 in Andalusia, a figure that would rank him 5th among outfield players at Elland Road, or almost a third of those recoveries came in the opposition half. Able to cut it as both a left back and wing back, he should suit whatever shape Bielsa chooses to play, and while playing under 3 different coaches saw him struggle to settle at Barca, entering a club with such a strongly instilled style, like what he had at Betis, can only be a good thing. What's more, there's very much a sense we're yet to see the best of Firpo, and who better to revitalise his career than the maverick Argentinian coach. 5. Eduardo Camavinga to Man United. Unlike most of the entries on this list, Eduardo Camavinga wouldn't be an instant fix at Man United. He may have superb defensive numbers, putting up 4.6 tackles and interceptions per 90 in a Rennes side which has become increasingly possession-based in the last year, but the teenager is hardly an out-and-out defensive midfielder, and a player of his immense talents would surely be wasted in a sitting role. Not 19 until November, the Frenchman is developing into an excellent box-to-box operator, completing 3 dribbles per 90 in the Champions League last term, and his resistance to the press makes him an attractive proposition for any top club. But while he isn't the Ndidi type player the Red Devils are crying out for in their midfield, he is an upgrade in practically every sense on both Scott McTominay and Fred, and with a number of European giants curbing their spending again this summer, United may not face much competition for his signature. Fitting him into a setup in which Donny van de Beek can't even get minutes could of course prove problematic, but signing an emerging superstar who could serve the club for well over a decade could be too good an opportunity to miss, and would surely make any potential departure of Paul Pogba in the future a lot easier to deal with. 4. Raphaël Guerreiro to Juventus. Last season we actually suggested Camavinga as a target for Juventus, and they could certainly do with signing a top-class midfielder, with Manuel Locatelli seemingly their answer. But one area that also needs work is left back, and if Juve really want to make a statement as they attempt to regain supremacy in Serie A next term, signing one of the world's best in Raphaël Guerreiro would be a great way to go about it. Alex Sandro's performances have declined severely over the last 2 seasons, while Danilo isn't a natural fit on the left despite his excellent form in Italy. Guerreiro, meanwhile, is coming off one of his finest seasons, notching up 5 goals and 10 assists for Dortmund in the Bundesliga and creating 2 chances from open play each match, a figure only beaten by Aaron Ramsey and Dejan Kulusevski at Juve last term. Having Guerreiro's engine on the left would instantly make the Bianconeri a more formidable threat in the final third, and with the contract up in 2023, now could be a good time to strike if they are willing to put up the money for him. And having admitted he came close to joining PSG in 2019, the Portuguese international may well be tempted for a new challenge after 5 years in Germany. 3. Erling Haaland to Chelsea. Okay, so Erling Haaland would have a transformative effect on almost any attack, but with the Norwegian marksman most closely linked with Chelsea this summer, it's worth taking a look at what a move to West London would mean for the Blues. Despite finishing in the top 4 and winning the Champions League, it's clear Thomas Tuchel's side still needs work, and the lack of an out-and-out centre-forward, with Tammy Abraham seemingly not a part of his plans, is perhaps their main issue. For a side which possesses so much creative talent, from Christian Pulisic to Mason Mount and Callum Hudson-Odoi, having a striker of Haaland's calibre up top would surely make them consistent Premier League title challengers and put the club up there with Man City and Bayern Munich in terms of overall attacking quality. With City seemingly focused on Grealish and Kane, United signing Sancho and the Spanish superpowers cutting costs, Chelsea have an opportunity to convince Haaland to choose London, even if a move this summer appears unlikely. If the Blues are patient, they could have the signing of the century on their hands. 2. Donyell Malen to Borussia Dortmund. On the subject of Sancho and Haaland, Borussia Dortmund are going to need attacking reinforcements this summer. And while they've been linked with Noni Madueke, who at 19 looks an excellent prospect, his PSV teammate Donyell Malen would surely have a more instant impact at the Westfalenstadion. The Dutch international was on fire in the Eredivisie last term, hitting 19 goals and 8 assists in 32 games, and while he spent the last 2 seasons as the club's number 9, he can play across the forward line, creating 2.6 chances per 90 from either wing in the 2018-19 campaign, in which he also completed over 3 dribbles a match. This may well be the kind of role Marco Rosa has in mind for him if he joins BVB, and while he isn't Jadon Sancho, his pace, awareness and ability to get in behind the back line will be needed without the Englishman in the side. And once Haaland inevitably leaves, he'll have what it takes to thrive as a Bundesliga centre-forward. 1. Kylian Mbappé to Real Madrid. We finish off with an obvious one, but there's no getting past just how desperate Real Madrid are to sign Kylian Mbappé, even if a move to the Bernabeu looks unlikely this summer despite the latest reports that he won't sign a new contract at PSG. The French forward hasn't had his best year by his lofty standards, missing out on the Ligue 1 title for the first time since he became a regular starter for Monaco and underperforming at the European Championships. His non-penalty expected goals and assists also dropped almost half from 1.61 to 0.89 per 90. But his average of a goal involvement every 70 minutes is still up there with the very best, and he remains one of the most complete attackers in world football at just 22. Centre forward may not be a priority for Madrid right now, with the evergreen Karim Benzema looking as good as ever, but with the side struggling for substance on the wings last term, and with the youngster linking up well with the former Lyon striker in the French national setup, he is still the answer to many of the Merengues' problems in the final third. A natural-born Galactico if ever there was one. So those were our 10 signings that could transform your club this summer, but what do you make of our shouts? Did you disagree with any of them? Let us know in the comments below and we'll get discussing. If you enjoyed this video, of course, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to EFD if you haven't done so already. We put videos like this out every single day, so you really don't want to miss out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.